Trinidad and Tobago, Wallace a goal shooter.
The match officials, your on-court umpires, Helen George
and Swift at goalkeeper. As for England then, watch out for Jiva Mentor, Serena Guthrie and Rachel Dunn.
From London. Okay, Liverpool, get ready to count them down.
England then no quarter given so far at the World Cup, hoping to make Trinidad and Tobago dance to their calypso beat. Centre pass for Trinidad and Tobago, but already Pamela Cookie, England getting the call.
Indeed, and great pressure there from Jade Clark, just forcing that ball off the sideline, and England are on the attack.
Their instruction centre.
Quick hands and a quick transition. They'll look to punish Trinidad and Tobago early on, but they've got the threat defensively.
Nice play there, Jo Harton. Good from Rachel Dunn. This is what we can see from her. She will exit the circle, but she's also really good on that back hold, as we see her here.
Rachel Dunn, familiar hands inside that circle with Pamela Cookie. So long played along each other. Just getting to know the post.
Yeah, getting a little bit cozy with that post. Defensive pressure from Trinidad and Tobago is tight, and so we will see quite a bit of body on body in this game.
That'll be the ploy from Swift and Green in that defensive end, but it's the full court pressure from England defensively. Dunn took one for the team.
Great work there, a shooter getting an intercept right on the edge of the circle. As we see her here, she goes with it to two hands.
England.
And gets her hand in the face as well.
England's throw.
Range offside, centre.
Umpires looking on at the side, including England's Gary Burgess.
Trinidad and Tobago. Range instruction, wing attack.
Centre pass for Trinidad and Tobago. It's going to feel a bit laboured on the way down just because of this pressure that England are putting on.
Wing defence, stand out of play. On his paws, wing.
Oh, that's the kind of ball that you can't play when you've got Ebony Osoro-Brown in there.
No, that height and pressure that they both put in that shooting circle, really tough for the shooters. But McCullen, we know that she can shoot high accuracy balls, and she's just started the game so well there.
Khalifa McCollin of Celtic Dragons.
Contact.
Her mum and dad played netball. Got it in her blood. Good settler this for Rachel Dunn.
Yeah, 2 from 2 for Rachel Dunn, 100%.
Holding wing
Starting
defense.
well.
Stand with her. Move over.
There'll be plenty of pinging early on, just to clean everything up in these early stages.
Yeah, umpires really need to step their mark early so the players know exactly what they want to see, and then it hopefully will let it flow.
Goalkeeper.
A little bit of contact called against Jiva Mentor. The fake shot. And away we go.
Contact wing defence.
Talk about familiar combinations from their time at Super League winning Wasps. Haythornthwaite and Dunn used to that, but great rebounds from Hahn.
Yeah, indeed. Great core shown on that back line. But as you say, from Wasps, Haythornthwaite and Dunn, and I think that's one of the reasons why Nat has come into that wing attack position, putting Dunn at the goal shooter position. They feed well, they understand each other.
Oh, good take. Great upper body strength from Wallace in that serve.
Yeah, nice. Even with two defenders on her, she was still able to get that ball.
Contact wing defence.
Nice, Nat Haythornthwaite. She's strong, isn't she? She's putting herself in good positions off that centre pass so that she's drawing those contacts from wing defence, Jack.
Haythornthwaite just saying to the rest of her team, get up on your toes again. Not finding it easy on their centre pass, though, to move through court.
On an obstruction wing.
Nice play from TNT.
Goalkeeper.
Sam Wallace coming strong out the top of the circle just to release that, and McCullen driving the post.
Back to a goal in it then.
Contact centre.
Swish. Good from Jo Harten. She took that first ball. She wasn't confident putting that shot up, even though we know she can shoot from there, but just settled herself with a 1-2 on the edge with Serena Guthrie.
A little bit of early criticism went Jo Harten's way in the last game against Jamaica. Just after the settle, said she fed off the crowd. And such is the noise from this England crowd, but that won't intimidate the likes of Wallace. She's used to being playing over in Australia, playing up against this defensive end too.
Yeah, and doing a great job out there for the Swifts. They're sitting top of the table.
And that's in the Sun Court in Australia.
Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes, Ebony Asura-Brown.
That's where she misses with your head, doesn't she? It's just that little bit of pressure, the lean, getting the hands in there.
Yes. So tight when she's on that man-on-man defence, and that's a key strength for her, which she needs to exploit more.
Swinging it across, using the full circle, Jo Harten. Now goes on the hunt, back to Haythornthwaite. The 1-2, and Jo Harten gets a chance just to settle and pop this one.
Great shot there, yeah, the obstruction call. Because she's so quick when she takes the ball, defenders put their hands up too early before they've got their 3 feet. And so she more often than not gets that penalty.
Draws them out. Unlucky, though, from the defensive end for Trinidad and Tobago.
Nice from her.
Colin and Wallace having to come out and just keep this ball going forward, and that's just with the short pass.
Yeah, contact on the goal shooter. So Sam Wallace, just as she was trying to get her position in the circle, backed into Jiva Mental. So contact called.
Not often you see those. I mean, you're going to say it all the time, aren't you, as part of the attackers union? Defenders always moaning about it.
Yeah, an attacking contact. We're so hard done by shooters.
Obstruction goal defence. Advantage.
The metronome's in for Rachel Dunn. She plays at her best when she just keeps it ticking over.
Yeah, she does, and she feeds off that, and she feeds off that confidence. Sometimes see her looking at her hand, that's her weapon.
Lovely take, lovely splits, and lovely goal from Colin.
And she acknowledges that pass in from Simon Gall at wing attack.
Throw in, wing area.
Ah, as a coach, you hate that.
Yeah, just that miscommunication, and the ball flies off the back line. England want to improve on that defensive through-court. That came down the court quite quickly. Yes, Ebony Asura-Brown again.
They were setting it up.
They were, that obviously.
Asura-Brown, just another collision with the post. Don't know who came off worst, Harten or the post then. Back out to Haythornthwaite.
Contact centre. Pass the ball back. Obstruction goalkeeper. Trinidad and Tobago.
As we see this intercept, good from Asura-Brown, how she set up on the edge of the circle and was able to time that to come out.
Colin putting in the hard yards for Trinidad and Tobago. Angry take.
Lovely take, strong from Guerrero.
And that's where England are dangerous. It's not just the height, it's the ability to bounce from those England defenders.
Yeah, and that first miss from Trinidad and Tobago no longer sat on 100%.
Main obstruction wing defence.
Haythornthwaite.
Obstruction goal defence. Where you are, goal attack. Goal defence moving.
Doing well to shake off some of that body-on-body in the circle.
England.
Yeah, and they're getting the contact calls in there.
So important, isn't it, just to show the umpire that you're having none of it, you're playing clean.
Main centre
Yes, indeed.
obstruction.
Don't want to retaliate, you don't want to push back off, because otherwise they'll then
Main
call you for
offside
that
centre.
attacking
Main
contact.
centre obstruction. Goalkeeper contact.
And then when you do get the hit, make sure everyone knows about it.
Good shot there from Jo Hart, and she takes it to 7 from 8. Just that one miss for her.
Advantage center obstruction.
Oh, great hand in from Mentor.
Advantage
Good
obstruction
pressure
wing.
England are putting down in that end third on the defence.
Contact out of the hand.
All 4 of them, which was key in the
Side to
Jamaica
keep
game
up.
as well. Why they got those many turnovers was because all 4 put the pressure on. As we see here, Jiva Mentor stepping forward after Asura Brown also helped her out.
Advantage break wing attack.
Throw in.
Just a little foot higher.
Yeah. So Jo Hart now just a bit too much reflex.
Tracy Neville talks about not wanting to drill that out of Jo Hart.
no.
She loves the flair of her, and it's about knowing when to play those moments,
Yeah.
when to add that little bit of flair, which can lift the rest of the team.
Definitely, and that is what Jo Harten's so good at in terms of how she lifts the team. Those special moments, her ball skills, her ball handling. Every now and then, yes, it does go astray, but the majority of time, that's what makes her so
Advantage
formidable.
offside. Goalkeeper contact. Next to the keeper.
Just the average afternoon bike ride, not a care in the world. Wonder if they've got that app where they're racing against each other.
At that pace? No,
Help me, hands down.
both trying to just keep
Advantage
warm
offside
in
centre.
case they have to re-enter this game anytime soon.
Seeing all that great work off the ball again, just from Mentor and Asura Brown trying to keep that attacking end out of the circle.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of tips on this ball, but it's just fallen back into Trinidad and Tobago's hands, hence they were able to score that one. But it really disrupts the flow of a team.
Haythornthwaite, see that heavy strapping around the tops of her legs on the way back from injury that ruled her out of the domestic season in Australia.
A hamstring injury.
Advantage center obstruction. Center obstruction with the center.
Here goes Wallace. Nope. Thought she was set right for that one.
England.
Yeah, and normally you would see her just turn straight to the post and shoot, but opting to pass that off. Just 2 from 2 from Sam Wallace so far. Stephen Mentor are doing a good job in this first quarter on her.
Dunn comes out for it. She'll offload and head down and straight into the circle. Great drive in, but finding no way through.
Stage contact center.
Lovely play. Just swinging that ball across the circle to open out the angles, hitting top, and Rachel Dunn ready for that pop under the post.
Important to take your fluids on during the game. Oh, lovely little bounce behind her.
Defense, arms around.
She's quick.
Contact goalkeeper.
McCullin.
You have to do that, though, to try and work out how they get through that defence.
Yes,
Stand next
indeed.
to her. Goal
Sammy
defense.
Wallace took one to the eye.
England.
Look at these hands here, that reverse bounce
Contact,
pass
goal
to
attack.
get it to Simon
At the
Goal,
center circle.
and using her body well
Back
to get
to
it
centre
back and
circle.
draw that contact call.
Still keep edging back into it, Trinidad and Tobago.
Stage
This-
offside.
Bit of defensive work
Contact
from
centre.
them. Putting everything on the line.
Yeah, going offside in the
circle.
process.
Guero's a firefighter in her part-time, so I think she can handle that.
Yeah, all these players are so tough as we see her hit the deck,
Hold
but she was
time,
straight
pick
back up.
You're out of play for contact.
Feet getting tangled, but she was never really going to get that ball.
Such great agility, though.
Yes.
Got to be in it to win it, Pamela.
You've got to try. Indeed, you have to
Return the
try.
ball.
Harton.
Nice.
Beautiful drop.
Trinidad and Tobago.
Jo Harton makes it then 10-18. England with an 8-goal lead. Just over a minute of this first quarter to go. Opting for the long balls in then for Trinidad and Tobago. See how they can unlock that England defence. Wallace hasn't put many up. should be putting more up when she does that.
She should. She's sat on 100%. She's so accurate, and the team needs her to be that, keep that confidence going and keep putting those shots up.
Haythornthwaite actually shares a house with Sammy Wallace and Helen Housby in Australia.
Both playing for the Swiss. All three, sorry.
Danish break, wing attack.
This is better from TNT in this final period of this quarter. Thought she'd go for that, and just those little bits of doubt that the defensive end put in.
And again, that reverse pass from McCullen is so quick. The defense don't have a chance, but she's a little bit upset there, feeling that she's getting hit as she's taking the shot.
The captain can have a word with the umpires. It just sometimes puts that little question in the mind of those on the sides.
Yeah, we just say, can you just have a look at this?
There's the whistle for quarter time then. 8 goals the difference. England came out with that fire, with that flame in their belly to try and take on this TNT side. They are no lugs though, Trinidad and Tobago. They fought back to England, but a good lead to take into that second quarter, 20-12. Centre pass then for Trinidad and Tobago. Lying 10th in the world up against England 3rd. With England though with their ambitions on that final come Sunday. Pamela Cookie alongside me, and we'll expect this from TNT early on.
Yeah.
Changes in that goal defence position though for England.
Yes, we see Fran Williams coming on at goal defence. Isuro Brown goes to the bench. Different partnership, hasn't worked much with Juva Mentor.
But it's a partnership that's been bred at Wasps, just as the one between Haythornthwaite and Rachel Dunn. That one took 4 years to come down, but it's Trinidad and Tobago that have it. They'll build again. Get confirmation of those changes in just a moment.
Good from Sam Wallace.
Contact keeper.
Herself and Khalifa McCullum played Trinidad and Tobago under 16s, under 21s, and now seniors. So they've had many years together developing that partnership.
And that's where the elastic develops, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That combination. Oh, good strength. Little step in, but who's there? Who wants it? Williams wants it. And now they come away again.
Step.
Oh, but an unforced error, stepping. Just regrounding her landing foot before offloading the ball.
Wallace having to go all the way across the circle. Colin then,
England.
Same result. What's this change in the circle going to do for England?
Fran Williams is a bit different to Isuro Brown in terms of that man-on-man pressure, but Fran is really smart. She can hassle you, but then she can also come up for those flies and intercepts. So she's young, she's been learning, but I think she's a great addition to this England squad.
Well, they need something at the moment. There's Williams with ball in hand. Trinidad and Tobago, a run of 3 goals in this quarter already without a response from England. Will this be the first? Harton goes back to Clark. Edge of that circle.
We also see a change, which we missed. Clark has gone to centre and Guthrie has gone to wing defence.
England just trying some different areas. Wing defence was where Beth Cobden played so successfully for England in the Commonwealth Games final.
England.
Revelation there, but Cobden out with her ACL at the moment.
Yeah.
Advantage contact, wing defence.
Nice there from Jo Harton.
It's nice when it comes off. Oh, Rachel Dunn holding her wrist after that one. Don't know if that was just a readjustment.
Advantage offside.
I think we heard the slap on the wrist as well.
Still holding her wrist, Rachel Dunn. Probably won't like to receive the ball in there, but it's all right when you've got Harton in the long one.
Yeah. She's still holding her wrist. But lovely play there from Jo Hart and just faking it. Good from Jade Clark to pull wide because you have to make the defenders think that the ball's going there. So there's no point Jo Hart and just faking it there. Jade had to make that move as well.
Contact keeper outside. All outside the circle. Taken.
Oh, Mentor just trying to maybe push her
England.
side forward again and make something happen there because they are getting a bit of joy now, Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, 5-2 so far in this quarter, and that change that's occurred
Contact goalkeeper.
does seem to be taking England a little bit of time to settle themselves. Lovely.
Rachel Dunn, nothing wrong with her wrist.
Nothing wrong, but she holds it again still not happy, but currently sat at 70% as we see there, but that take and then till be able to then still score.
That was not about thought, was it, with Rachel Dunn? That was all instinctive.
Contact.
And that's when she plays her best, when she's not thinking about stuff. When she just goes, see how she lands it, collects herself, and then straight up with a shot.
Centre pass, England. Clark with it. That centre bib on her now. Rachel Dunn comes out for it, just offloads the ball to Jade Clark, and she can't quite find another of her teammates. She was on her backside. She's back up on her feet, heads down court to put the defensive pressure on again.
Guarded obstruction. Guarded obstruction goal attack.
Now Harton comes to join that wall for England. Colin and Wallace, much more movement from them around that circle now.
Yeah. And Trinidad and Tobago hitting that circle edge, which makes the feed even easier because it's really difficult one-on-one goalkeeper against goal shooters to get a ball off them when your feeders are right on the edge of the circle. And Trinidad extend this lead in the second quarter, 7-3.
There's some movement on the bench for England. Housby has taken her T-shirt off. We'll keep an eye on whether that little wrist injury to Rachel Dunn might have stopped her in this quarter. She's shaking her hand. She calls the timeout, Rachel Dunn. Dunn calls the timeout then.
Injury goal shooter.
A great intercept we just see here from Jo Harton.
So Rachel Dunn heads off court and Helen Housby puts the goal shooter bib on and back on court. H2 reunited.
England centre.
Yeah. And in a different way, normally you see Jo Harton in at goal shooter, Helen Housby at goal attack. So I'm excited to see how this combination
Centre contact.
Contact called again. Just with a change. It's difficult, isn't it, rolling those changes in?
Yeah. I think also early, coming into that second quarter, don't normally see so many changes happen so early in the game, but lovely play from Fran Williams, but she stepped.
Oh,
On the
Crowd
circle.
don't like it.
Come forward.
Panto season early. So just a check by the medical team on Rachel Dunn's wrist.
Back, small step back, goal attack, where the goal defence first. Step back beside the goal defence.
Another one off for
Half-time
Trinidad and
injury,
Tobago.
goalkeeper.
And if Swift's going to head to the bench too, probably going to see a bib change around. So Green is going to go into that goalkeeper
To Trinidad
position.
centre.
Housby.
So this is this to double bluff combat the threat now that's now on between Harton and Housby?
I think so, but I think this is where they're more comfortable with Jo at goal shooter and Helen Housby at goal attack. So just using that opportunity to make the
Contact
change.
England centre on the goal circle.
Look at
Great
the split.
splits.
So flexible, so agile.
England.
She would have crossed both courts when they were down earlier in the week.
Yes.
Just under 8 minutes of this second quarter. And Jo Harton adds another one to England's tally. They've just gone behind in this quarter to Trinidad and Tobago, but another on the board. So just a little wiping of the court. When they're playing this netball at such speed, any little bit of sweat will send you going.
Yeah, definitely. You don't want any slips. It's hard enough as it is on the court. with the body-on-body that's happening and the speed that these players are going at. So they want to make sure the court is bone dry.
Across the top of that circle again. Finding a way through now, Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes, from Serena Guthrie.
It's not just about her intercepts, it's the timing of the
Yes.
intercepts. It's when she knows that the game's just dropping a little bit for her England Roses team.
At the top of the circle.
She gets those intercepts at crucial times. They needed that one to be able to now lift from that and push on. And the whole team do lift from Guthrie and her antics.
Keeper
And England at the end of that
inside the
first
circle.
quarter were
With the
8
keeper
goals
now,
up.
With the keeper.
TNT have drawn it back to 6. But then there's Joe Harden.
England.
Look at here, this rebound. She was so quick off the mark, and that's why she's
Guarded wing
leading
obstruction.
the stats in pickups.
Oh, hello, Helen Housby.
Guarded obstruction centre.
Great pass to find Joe Hart and the 1-2 with Jade Clark.
Tobago.
And now it's fluid.
So first quarter we saw England 20 goals to Trinidad and Tobago's 12. This one, Trinidad and Tobago currently on 9-7. But an intercept like that allows them to now
Contact
start
on
to
the
try and
fence.
peg that back.
Who thinks England had a little look up at the big screen, saw those quarter scores, and thought they're not having any of that?
Yeah. As you said at the start, yet to lose a quarter in this competition, so they'll want to keep that 100% record, just to keep the
Contact
confidence
wing.
again going.
Thank you for paying attention.
I try.
Little step in from Joe Harden.
Danger offside, centre.
Cool and the
Throw
swing
in.
across the circle. Just wasn't read. Now England build again. They make that transition
Danger obstruction.
just feel a bit more natural on court.
Centre contact.
Little niggly contacts
No,
coming
yeah.
in. And I don't mean for the clappers in the crowd.
No. And that sometimes
Guarded
happens
wing
when
obstruction.
the movement is so quick. Defenders are
Guarded
just that little bit
offside.
off the pace and then the contact comes.
England. Guarded obstruction.
That's not the official mascot, but it will do.
Obstruction keeper.
There we go.
Much better passage of play from England. They've now clawed this back.
Throw in. No, throw in.
Will they have a
No,
target in their mind, clearly to win it, to make the semi-finals, but will they have targeted Tracy Neville's side at what they would want to be at by half-time?
I think it'd be more about the process. Yes, you'll have the goals in terms of, well, yeah, we want to get X amount of intercepts. We want to make sure that our centre pass to goal conversion rate is high. They'll have all that. But it's also about feeling what's going on in the game and how can you
England.
pick yourselves up in those moments, because that's what they'll need in those bigger competitions against the likes of
Half-time,
Australia, New
injury,
Zealand, South
goalkeeper.
Africa. When you're down or when you're feeling that the pressure's coming back from your team, can you now regroup and push forward?
Step in
Well, they've
centre.
seen enough in that defensive end, Trinidad and Tobago. They saw their lead in this quarter pegged back. Well done, Jade Clark.
Guarded
They've made a
obstruction
change again
wing.
then. And Swift back on at goalkeeper. She had a sit down. Sometimes that's just used to assess how it's going in that circle, isn't it? You go have a little spell on the bench just so you can read it.
Yeah,
Oh,
indeed. And
obstruction
you can
goal attack.
able to watch it, listen to your coach. They give you a little bit of pinpoints potentially as well. And then you can re-enter the game energized, but also with more information in your brain.
And it's Baptiste
Wing
on the,
attack obstruction.
just swapped over to that goal defence position. And Green heading to the bench for Trinidad and Tobago. Jade Clark, arguably this season, she's having one of her best spells
Guarded keeper contact.
as a player, and that's saying a lot for England's record cap holder.
Goal defence
Yeah,
contact.
definitely.
That's it. Goal defence over here, please.
She has just continued to kick on every time she steps on the court. She just doesn't stop.
166 caps for Jade Clark.
Most out of any other Rose ever to take the court.
Top ball.
Nat Panagari warming up on the
On-time
side.
injury. England wing defence.
the Loughborough Lightning captain, comes on, and Serena Guthrie, the England captain, heads to the bench. Again, this is just testing that wing defence position for England.
Yeah, and also I think a chance to rest legs. Serena Guthrie will be crucial in the game tomorrow against South Africa.
Off the court, please.
8 o'clock.
Vantage break.
She hasn't got time for a look over her shoulder. No pressure there. 8 o'clock tomorrow night, England against South Africa, 8 o'clock UK time.
Step, centre.
And that likely then to decide this group.
Yes, lovely play. Like that footwork from Helen Housby and also from Jo Hart, and just to wait for it to open up.
Goalkeeper contact.
A little bit of blowing on the fingertips, like a poker player about to shuffle. I think more about the sting that it took out of her hands when she came
yeah. After this.
the low tens.
Contact centre. Contact, goalkeeper. Just come in a step from there. Take a step. Contact,
Just
goalkeeper.
rolls around. They are doing well to put England off their rhythm in that circle. Still getting a little bit.
Yeah, and that's the body-on-body pressure we talked about. And each time you catch the ball, you've got someone on top of you, and that makes it really difficult to then regroup to be able to then shoot. But these girls are world-class shooters. They do this week in, week out. They understand the pressure, and they've felt it before. Lovely take from Housby.
What was it Tracy Neville once said about her? If you want to be a shooter,
Contact,
shoot.
goalkeeper.
Maybe she wants to be a defender.
Come on with me. Back a step.
We are all a defence. You attack and you defend.
And that's actually where we've seen a lot of the change in this England side is just that defensive work.
Yeah, all the way down the court, and that was great pressure there from Helen Housby. And skill level to be able to do that.
Vantage obstruction.
Going for a couple on the run, England now. Hart does well. Had a look down to
Vantage
check
contact.
where she was on court.
Goalkeeper.
Harton doing well just to get that contact. Daystar Swift all over her in the circle.
I love the swagger as she walks away.
Too cool for school.
Yeah.
Vantage outside, wing defence.
Well, hopefully, because it is
Goalkeeper contact. Where you are, goal attack.
3:35 and still school time in the UK.
England.
Last few seconds of this half then. Changes made by England. Trinidad and Tobago have tried to adapt, but since Helen Housby came on for Rachel Dunn, who picked up a little bit of that wrist injury, it's like she's never been off court. Last few seconds, the crowd countdown, the hooter goes, 40 plays 22, and England in that quarter at times found themselves behind, but then end up doubling the score of Trinidad and Tobago. 20-10 in that quarter, 40-22 the lead for the England Roses. Centre pass with Trinidad and Tobago. A reminder, win this and England go through to the semi-finals. But with Australia taking on New
Contact, goal
Zealand
defence.
in the morning UK
Goal
time
defence.
on Thursday, and England
You
facing
take
South
one step back and
Africa
you take one step
on
in.
Thursday
Goal attack,
evening.
you take a step back
You won't
and
know
you
the
come in.
semi-finals and the lineup until then. A little bit of a fallback from Ebony Osoro-Brown.
Vantage, goal obstruction.
Wasn't happy and was looking at the
England.
umpires. We did see in the break, Pamela Cookie, that actually Serena Guthrie, Jo Hart came up to have a word with the umpires, as they're entitled to do. I think some of the contact they've not been happy with.
Yeah, just getting clarification from the umpires. It wasn't a long
Contact, Tobago
conversation,
set.
and they seemed happy when they walked off.
Hold tight, players. Just, you pull out of the contest and you just let her release.
Jade Clark letting the umpire do the talking, but her face told another story.
Instruction wing.
Housby has a little meerkat around, but takes the ball back. Settled.
Yeah, nice shot. No changes coming into this half in the England attack, but in defence,
Vantage break, goal
Osoro
attack.
Brown comes in at goalkeeper
Vantage centre
to play
obstruction.
alongside Fran Williams.
So another new combination in that circle for England, with Jiva Mentor heading to the bench.
Lovely shot there from Sammy Wallace. Takes them 2-1 as we start this quarter.
Oh, look at that from Housby. We saw her in the unfamiliar wing attack position the other day. She's got the feeds, though, but needs the rebounds.
Throw in.
Trinidad and Tobago just getting combined there. Both of them going for the ball, and it goes off the back line. And again, a miss from England.
They do have quality in there. Daystar Swift off to the Northern Stars in the ANZ.
Contact keeper.
Oh, just a little trip. Her own feet then, really.
Better from England.
Trinidad Tobago.
Still no expression. Those feeds just being delayed because of that work again from England.
Yeah, but Sam Wallace is on, though. She's holding her space nicely, and if they can just put that ball into the free space away from the defender, she can take that, and she's got a lovely long split that gets her so close to the post. Not that she minds shooting from far anyway.
Not entirely sure how comfortable she is with the splits at the moment, though. She's got heavy strapping on her right knee and keeps feeling it every time she takes the shot. But at the other end, the work being put in by the Trinidad and Tobago defence. Now they come again. Guerrero had time just to stick her hand in a reassuring way on the back of McCollum then. Still got you.
But patient work there
Goal
to
defense.
bring this ball down the court.
Obstruction.
Williams getting clear instruction. Fran Williams, another of those changes during that first half for England. The no-look pass from Joe Harton finds Helen
Contact
Housby, and
keeper.
that's one of those, such an important combination
Come around, goalkeeper.
between these England two. Those two up top, how well they work together.
Yeah, definitely, and it's how I think sometimes in that Jamaica game, especially in the second quarter, they just started to churn that
Contact.
circle. So we're both offering an option, and Jamaica were able to sit on them. Where them two work really well together, Harton and Housby,
Structure
is
in both
one off,
players.
one on.
Out of play,
Delay your timing.
Very
One
hard,
person moves, the other person then reacts to
Too
that.
close.
Makes it easier for the feeders to get the ball. And their angles in that circle.
Vantage break, goal attack.
Just confirmation of those changes along the bottom of your screen. Oh, well played, Nat Haythornthwaite.
She's having a good game. On attack, she's dominant. She's got a couple of intercepts on defense.
Contact, swing defense.
And she's fed that circle really nicely. Look at those hands and causing, force it. She got a tip to it, but then she still chased it on the ball.
She's also offering a lot of encouragement off the ball to Fran Williams, ex-Wasps teammate, and Nat Panagari too. But this time, England can't stick it.
Yeah, when I used to play with Nat, you could always hear her talking, always keeping that chat
Contact,
going
wing
and those
defense.
connections going. And again,
Wing
she's
defense around the play.
crucial in this turnover. A little knock to the side, though, it seems.
Little.
Beside the wing. Beside the wing defense.
I'd be on the floor by now.
England.
See, they make it look so simple, but
England
when there's
centre.
all that body on body, when there's the hip checks, the bottoms flying in, just got to keep your rhythm.
Contact, goal attack.
Yeah, Baptiste really applying that pressure on Haythornthwaite.
Contact, Trinidad Tobago centre.
Well, they're enjoying the end result inside the arena, but they're certainly seeing
That is
some
right,
of this
wing attack.
off-the-body stuff, some of the off-the-ball stuff that's frustrating England at the moment. Just got to keep their end clean. Don't get blown out of the game. And Trinidad and Tobago have just not let this one go.
Advantage obstruction wing attack.
Just two behind in this quarter.
Contact centre.
One behind now, 5-6.
With the
after
centre.
that last goal from McCullum.
Throw in, wing area. Wing area, throw in. Offside, centre.
So Jay Clark there just going into the circle as she was trying to get the ball.
Contact, centre. Beside the centre.
Watching on, the Duns, Serena Guthrie's mum, who had time. She's so composed that during half-time she actually came up and she gave me a little pat on my bottom.
Contact.
Oh,
That didn't come with a ticket.
No?
Trinidad and
No,
Tobago.
great support the family of these players have shown. Come into all the games.
Contact, wing defence, goal third.
Good passage of play from Trinidad and Tobago. Drawn themselves level in this quarter. Oh, good movement too, just off the body.
Goal obstruction, goalkeeper.
McCollum will be used to that tussle against Ebony Osoro-Brown in that circle in the Super League in the UK.
England.
Yeah, she played at Mavericks. She was at Celtic Dragons in the last season, just gone.
And Osoro-Brown at Team Bath, alongside Serena Guthrie.
Big offside, wing
England
defence.
captain.
Both co-captains for Team Bath. So a lot of leaders in this England squad.
Tobago.
And as they progress through this tournament, they'll need those leaders to really step up and have presence.
And that's what McCollum's doing now for this Trinidad and Tobago
Wing
side.
contact outside the circle.
Lovely from Osoro-Brown. She covered that.
100th cap last time out for Ebony Osoro-Brown. Patient from Jade Clark, just waiting for Jo Harton.
England.
There's patience and then there's skill.
Yeah, she released
England
that
sent
one.
out.
Check here, Osoro-Brown. She was on the shot, but then she knew that pass was coming to be able to step to the right and cover McCollum.
Another of those moments that just gives that adrenaline rush to the rest of the team.
Yeah, really lifts them. And great that Jo Harton could finish it off and reward it by scoring down the
Contact,
other end.
wing.
Now you just see a bit
Step
more pace
forward.
on the ball from England.
Throw in wing area.
She's done well, Baptiste, since she's come on.
She has. She's really tried to get close to Haythornthwaite. She's got a lot of hand to ball, just little tips, disrupting play. But
Trinidad and
You can't handle
Tobago.
that.
you can't now. What can you do against that?
Advantage break, wing
I'll get on
attack.
your shoulders, Pamela. Oh, great land again, and there's the space. Just the eyes were going one way, the hands the other from Wallace. Real quality.
Yeah,
Hold the
such
pace.
pace on that ball.
Advantage obstruction, keeper. Advantage contact.
Nice, Jo Harton. You see, when we talked earlier about you don't want to take this away from Jo when she has moments like that, where she just bulleted that ball under the post to Houseby. That's special.
Trinidad and Tobago going toe-to-toe, though, with England. It's almost lifted them, too.
Yeah.
Oh, no, who put that post there?
Advantage shooter contact.
Jo Harton sets, delivers.
Nothing but net. Yeah, Khalifa McCullin trying to get the ball over to Sam Wallace, but as you said, the post got in the way.
Sometimes it's your friend.
Yeah,
Did you stay give it a little
wing
hug
defence.
before starting?
I did. I used to talk to it as well.
Out of court, far side.
Oh, how I wish we had you mic'd up then.
Wing attack, knee, contact.
A call against Nat Haythornthwaite.
Throw in.
Pamela Cookie, who made her 100th cap in
Wow.
the series against Trinidad and Tobago back in 2015.
Yeah. Where Nat Haythornthwaite got her first cap here in
Advantage
Liverpool.
obstruction and contact.
She had a great game then too.
As Williams combining with Haythornthwaite. Clark manages to stick it. Houseby went one way, then the other, and back to Clark with a feed into Jo Harton.
And that's what's different. I
Obstruction,
liked where
distance.
Clark placed that ball, the angle she put on it, so that Jo Harton could step out onto it, and impossible for the defenders to get
Outside
any
the
kind of
centre.
tip on it.
Now we're going to see a change And here's something you don't see every day.
No.
Chelsea Pittman coming on with that centre bib.
Yes.
Used to seeing her in the wing attack position, but Tracy Neville stressed in the run up to this, everyone's got to play a couple of positions. Everyone has got to be available. And they've needed that more with Layla Gasketh in her injury too. Now Pittman with that centre bit.
Yeah, definitely, especially with Guscott not here, down to 11 players. You need your whole bench to be fluid for you.
Oh, talk about fluid. Liquid gold from Joe Harton, and Housby drops it through.
Nice play.
3.5 minutes, just under of this quarter remain.
Contact, wing defense.
Good strength around the edge of the circle there from Pittman.
Range contact centre.
I can't say I've ever seen her at centre
Obstruction goal
before.
defense.
No, well,
Just a small
Chelsea
step
Pittman,
back,
of
goal
course, we're all a bit surprised when we saw her don the red dress, formally hitting the top of the game with Australia. But she says being part of this Roses team, she's allowed to express herself, allowed to show those skills, those tricks that we saw in that passage of play from her England teammates then. And how proud, she says, when she becomes a granny or a grandma, whichever she adopts with her name, when she becomes a granny, to tell her grandchildren and her children about being an England Rose.
Instruction centre.
Good play.
How tough is that, Pamela Cookie? When you're in the circle, you got someone super glued to you to take it and still take the shot.
It's really tough, and it's all about timing, but also strength in there. And Joe Harton has both in immense proportions.
Now they're getting the joy defensively.
Goal shooter, contact.
Oh, the back bend.
Yeah, and that's when you see the hands were held. Joe Harton tried to release it, but contacting on the way.
What, 6 to 1 and half a dozen the other? What can Trinidad and Tobago do? Wallace just swinging it out to the edge of the circle, sets it up for herself and puts it away.
Obstruction. England.
Wallace has only missed 2 shots this game, 18 from 20.
Range offside centre.
That's been her story through this tournament, hasn't it? Just how well the Swifts player does for this team. And they are building the combinations around her, though. Seen it a bit more in mid-court from them.
Yeah, Simangal and Guerrera, they're growing, and we've seen them grow throughout this competition, but it just hasn't been enough service to fully utilise Sam Wallace.
Oh, and that's Panagari.
Everyone in this England side wants an intercept.
Clear on the right and the left for Joe Harton. Did well in adjusting herself.
Yeah, just bubbled in. Look at this run of the circle line from Panagari to be able to get in front.
Range offside, throw in, England. Goalkeeper contact just inside.
I think we might see a change from the bench for Trinidad and Tobago. It just, or is this their better defensive end? Got the ball now, so got a bit of joy now.
Yeah. You might see Wanda John Davis. She has a little bit more experience coming.
Well, there goes the hooter. They had a look up, saw that the seconds were counting down. They're not quite down and out, though, Trinidad and Tobago. A better start to the quarter for them, but England again extend their lead. 56-33, the lead here in Liverpool as we head into the final 15. Seen Chelsea Pittman with a centre bib on her, but there's some good news. Back on, Rachel Dunn with a goal shooter bib. We saw her pick up maybe a little bit of a wrist injury. Pamela Cookie, seeing her back out on court, she's a player that lives on experience, and she's one of those players that England need to be firing. For Trinidad and Tobago with the centre pass as we head into the final 15 minutes. It's about closing in on England if they can, because of placings, the world placings. They'll all get their semi-finals and then their finals to work out where they'll finish up in the world
Goal defense. Contact,
rankings.
you
That's
grab
why
the
each of
arm.
these games, each of these matches matter.
Just top of the circle.
Yeah, definitely, and
Outside.
every
Sorry,
team here
goalkeeper.
will play those 8 games in 10 days because they'll have their own semis and then finals for their positioning and their groupings. So really
England.
key, and especially if you beat someone that's higher ranked than you, you get more points. So that's
And what
awesome.
the points make?
Prizes.
Pamela Cookie alongside me. Great little pass in. There's done with it. Back into Housby.
Goal defence, back arm.
So all
Right in
these
front,
combinations
right
are
in
a little unusual.
Yeah, but they've all
Contact,
practiced
goalkeeper.
together coming into this competition, and all the warm-up games they would have tried out the different combinations. Done as we see there, and Haythornthwaite played together for a couple of years at Wasp
Contact,
before
England centre.
Haythornthwaite went down under. So they've developed partnerships and relationships, and they know how each other work.
England wing defence. Contact.
As for Trinidad
Page
and
moving, wing
Tobago, just
defence.
confirmation then of those changes. Oh, and that one's a dribbler. Good land from Panagarian. Housby had come out for it. Ops back to the Loughborough Lightning captain.
Barnage contact wing, Barnage obstruction centre. It's contact goalkeeper.
That
No,
was
no,
a
you go on
great
the other
jump
side.
on the
Move
shot
over,
from
keeper,
Green,
keep
but
going over a bit more,
swift
that's it.
contacting done under the post.
Daystar
England.
Swift and Shaquanda Green in that defensive end for Trinidad and Tobago.
Goalkeeper contact.
Had their work cut out for them really in each of these quarters. Every time that they've just
Goal defence.
edged ahead, England have pegged them back.
Contact. Take a step in, goal defence. One step in.
And Helen Housby
Trinidad and Tobago.
gets 59 up for England. 59 plays 34. Coming up on Thursday, Trinidad and Tobago take on Scotland.
Same instruction centre.
Good defensive pressure here from England, forcing Trinidad and Tobago back. Just now managed to break that third line.
Great movement from Seaman
Goal
Gull as
defence,
well.
obstruction.
Just seeing those
Where you are.
different players and changing up their positions.
Obstruction advantage.
Barnage obstruction.
Fabulous take,
Barnage
Housby.
obstruction centre. Barnage keeper obstruction. Barnage obstruction centre.
Not a bad feed.
Obstruction wing
Pass
defence.
swinging across the circle and then creates a simple feed for Nat Haythornthwaite. But that was all about the movement across the circle created by Pittman as well.
Definitely, and going back to the line because they wanted to go back to the line to open up the angles. Pittman then receiving it, and then that long ball to the corner.
Oh, Williams. She had a sneak.
Goal defence. Contact.
Unlucky Fran. Trying to go around with
Beside
that
the goal
outside
defence.
hand, but
Back
just
beside the goal defence.
clipping.
Love how Fran Williams does the little, sorry.
England.
I'm sorry, didn't mean to.
Ah, better hustle from Trinidad and Tobago. Look at the effort, the work they're having to put in to come down court, to get that ball,
Obstruction. Goal
to
defence. Out
drive
of play.
in.
Goal defence. Move
Yeah,
out of play.
Seaman Gull coming all the way up that court to try and get that
Trinidad
intercept, which she
Tobago.
does, and then she's back on the attack, having to do so much work in there.
What it's doing is allowing a bit more space for McCollin. Just drawing out Fran Williams again, so
Same
close.
contact centre.
A great take by McCollin.
England.
See what that meant?
Yes, indeed. We saw Green there just slap her tie.
They're already 5-4 up on this quarter score. England yet to lose a quarter
Over a third.
at the World Cup.
Goal third.
As in discipline there, you have to let the ball land in the middle in the center third if you throw it from any one of the end third before it goes into the next one. Otherwise, as the umpire called there, over a third. And it's a turnover.
Keeper contact.
Good strength from Rachel Dunn.
Trinidad and
Just
Tobago.
adjusts the hair down at the court, and she plays her best netball when she has that kind of nonplussed look.
Yeah, when she's just easy and it's flowing, and she doesn't have to think about things.
Offside, wing defense.
Unlucky, Panagawi, she's really teetering on the edge. We saw her get one earlier
Offside.
on the intercept, but just going
Right here in the
offside
cor- in
this
the
time.
Goal attack, right here in the corner. Where you are.
McCollin with
Contact, England centre.
the toss. Khalifa McCollin, just 23 years old.
Contact out of the hands, goal defence.
Began playing netball at 6. Said it's in her blood. Her mum and dad play it too.
England.
Seen her develop her game over in the UK playing in the Super League. She's just got
Advantage wing
looks
obstruction.
like a little bit of a knock she's trying to run off on court at the moment. The key player for Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah,
Throw in.
her and Sam Wallace are really the top pins in this Trinidad and Tobago team.
Advantage contact.
Great swing around the edge of the circle.
But hear them all talking as well.
Throw in.
Couldn't just
Throw
do
in.
the talking then for Soa Brown. But suddenly they've got that little bit of a bit between their teeth.
Yeah.
Midway.
A little bit more energy as they're coming down through this court. Great finish
Trinidad
off to that
Tobago.
play.
We're not surprised by that,
No.
are we? You know, barely wipes her brow, Wallace. Know the skills that she's got. It's just about just giving a few more of those opportunities. Guerrero in the last with 30 feeds
Managed goal
into the
attack
circle, another key
obstruction.
player for them.
Bang instruction wing.
It was Guerrero again, initially that set up McCollin.
England.
Half time. Centre.
So a bit more of a familiar take on the centre bid. Changing around. Looks
Hurry up,
like
ladies.
Serena Guthrie, England captain's coming back on.
Yeah.
She throws the bib over to Nat Panagari. She'll go to that centre position. And the roar, the noise is for the England captain on at wing defence.
Got a bit confused there. Even though she threw the bib, she thought she was coming on at centre.
She thinks she's thrown the other bib across. She wanted to go on at goal shoot.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Again, the change made because Trinidad and Tobago leading still in this quarter.
England.
England the overall score. They've got a 2-goal nudge on England in this quarter.
Advantage contact.
TNT
wing.
bench thought that should have been their call.
Yeah, the ball just releasing from the hands, but she regrouped it. The umpire deemed that was not repossession.
I love a fed-up Rachel Dunn. When she's knocked, you know it's going in.
Yeah, she has that steel look in her eyes.
Housby comes out for it. Oh, and Giff wraps it
Advantage,
to
offside.
TNT. There was a heavy fall from Nat Haythorn's weight. She's back up on her feet. Now Trinidad and Tobago build again. It was McCollin that had come back out for it too. Baptiste goes back. Impressive in that wing defence position.
Advantage offside. Shooter.
Just being made to work it around, but it's if they can hang on to that patient approach,
Obstruction, goal attack.
they'll be all right. Now need a bit more movement. Just the bus queue forms in front of them, and there's Helen Housby, straight out and through.
That was great mid-court defensive
goalkeeper.
pressure there. All of them just sucking and clogging that middle space. Trinidad and Tobago couldn't find a way through. They tried to go wide, but then once they went wide, they then went straight into the hands of Helen Housby right there.
And now England, after the change, back level on quarter score.
Advantage break.
How do the Calypso girls react? Wallace has come out for it.
Nice play. Really good offload. Fran Williams was sucked to the top of the circle, which left Wallace under the post for the overball.
But that was all about the way she conducted them, wasn't it?
Yeah.
This is where I want it. Oh, Swift tumble inside the circle, nobbles her own player. But now Dunn pokes it through.
Trinidad and Tobago.
On her own under the post. She's not going to miss from there.
Time, her towel, please.
Swift just said sorry for knocking Green down. A bit of a wipe up of the court. They were just trying to force things in that circle, just backs in and rolls over the top.
Yeah.
You used to do that to your mates at school with the... No, I'm not teaching you bad tricks, Pamela Cookie. Wallace again trying to dictate things. Oh, there was a look of frustration from her when it didn't quite come off.
Yeah, and it must be really difficult for her in terms of playing at that very high level in the Suncorp with the Sydney Swifts and then coming with only her and Khalifa McCullum playing week in, week out in international leagues. So the Suncorp for Wallace, VNSL for McCullum. Other teammates are just at a different level.
England.
But she does it with such grace. She smiles and she's always helping out her teammates, trying to get them better.
Advantage contact, wing. Wing defense obstruction.
Just that one win for Trinidad and Tobago, and that came against Fiji
Trinidad and Tobago.
in the initial preliminary stages.
Break, wing defence. Just across. Centre third. Centre third. Obstruction goal defence.
See, that's what they do well. I know England have got a few goals they can hand off in their locker, but it's just square 0-2. Great combination there.
Advantage wing defense contact. Need to adjust wing defense.
When they link up and do it well, it's really fluid, it's really sharp, and it's accurate.
Trinidad and Tobago.
But they struggle to do that consistently.
Obstruction goal defence.
Last 3 minutes then on day 6 for England, ahead of that crucial match against South Africa on Thursday evening. Good land from Guerrero. Just hunted all the way through then, Fran Williams.
With the goal shooter.
She just hasn't
Second
stopped,
time.
has she? Sam Wallace.
England.
She got the tip, she went, she took the shot, missed, but got the rebound, knocked it to Khalifa McCullum.
It's a real heavy sigh, though, after that last passage of play.
Obstruction wing. It's outside. Outside.
Helen Housby.
Swoosh.
Trinidad and Tobago.
She would have been disappointed with her shooting
Injury, goal
stats in the
shooter,
last game
Tobago.
against Jamaica, but today she has been on fire. 20 from 22, 91%.
Well, Sam Wallace deserves everyone inside this arena in Liverpool to be applauding her. And as soon as they see her walk off court, they take up that honour because she's been the real star for this team again.
Yeah,
Quickly, players.
every single game it's been her that's shone. But you can't do it with just one person. And that's what we see from the higher ranked nations. They've got a squad of players that they can use, that can come on and do a job.
So McCollum at that goal shooter position now, and on at goal attack. Just with the rangy arms is Hollingsworth. And England, though, take the joy. Quick transition through to Housby, ops back to the captain, Serena Guthrie. There's Haythornthwaite. She's ready to deliver to Rachel Dunn, but she had arms all around her. Dunn just occupying both defenders and still manages to find a way through.
Yeah, nice timing there. She sucks them together and then just at the right time, she pops through.
70 up for Tracy Neville's side. Minute and a half of this one remaining. Dunn Up periscope, finds Haythornthwaite, the lovely little ball into Helen Housby.
Interference. Yeah, goal defence out of play. Out of play, goal defence.
That's a little bit harsh.
Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, she interfered with the post, but she was just trying to stop it wobbling afterwards. If she'd gone out of play, there would still be the wobble on it.
Contact England centre, centre third. Danish not out, centre.
Oh, it's a beautiful take. One for the cameras. And another.
England.
Well, whatever the scoreboard says, there have been passages for Trinidad and Tobago where they've shown the skill. But look at that, again from England, fighting for every ball.
Yeah, they don't stop till the final whistle, do they?
Advantage obstruction,
And that is key.
Advantage. Wing defence, contact, play on, taken.
Dunn.
Advantage, contact.
And Rachel Dunn showing no ill effects from that initial injury for her. England will need her as they head into the latter stages of this competition. Last 20 seconds before England seal their place in the semi-finals. It's Trinidad and Tobago with ball in hand. They'll take on Scotland next. Great splits from McCollin, another of the stars for this TNT side. They'll need to be quick in the transition. Panagari has it. The bullet into Haythornthwaite. The crowd are telling them the time. The umpire has had time. But what an amazing shot. Doesn't count. Doesn't count.
No, contact called. The umpire held time. They need to set the penalty. Unfortunately, didn't play advantage.
Oh, if only. What a Hollywood moment that would be. Dunn will go from here. Rachel Dunn just over the top. Forget that last shot. Remember what's gone before, because England are through to the semi-finals of the World Cup. They've beaten Trinidad and Tobago 72-46. This was about the result. This was about combinations. And England had the big old tick next to their name. For Tracy Neville's side then, they're taking the applause of the crowd inside the arena here in Liverpool. Handshakes all round. This was a tough game for them to go into, Pamela Cookie, knowing the threat that Trinidad and Tobago possess, but to be able to put in some unorthodox positions, some unorthodox combinations, to see them work and come out with a win, you can see why they roar.
Yeah, definitely, and as you said, those unorthodox combinations, seeing all of them playing different. Chelsea Pittman in centre, we saw Serena Rilling come off. We saw Nat Haythornthwaite I liked. She played wing attack, which is her normal position, but she was so strong, and a nice hug there with Fran Williams, her old Wasp teammate. But she was critical in that, in terms of keeping that fluidity in that attacking end with all those changes around her.
Chiva Mentor just giving Sammy Wallace a little pat just to say how well she'd played, and the crowd here in Liverpool acknowledging that too. And the England fans inside the arena, the noise that they've created from day one has been rewarded. A very different test coming up against South Africa, but for now they'll take the applause of the crowd.
Yeah, definitely, and well deserved. They've done so well in this competition to date. They've really pushed on through. Anyone that's taken the court has put out a performance and helped this squad as a group progress. You can't win it with just 7 people, and they've showed that all 11 now, they had Layla before, unfortunately with that injury, are working together, and they're having fun, and they're enjoying the support that everybody's given and really lifting from it, the 8th player, the crowd.
Big hug on court between Fran Williams and Nat Panagari, the younger, newer members of this squad enjoying their moments too. But it's the old trusted players, the likes of Rachel Dunn, who has stood up again. There was a couple of wobbly moments when we saw her pick up an injury. She's come through that okay. Great to see Nat Haythornthwaite come back from her injuries too and performing on court. These England players, again, getting those combinations on court. So success then for Tracy Neville's team. They're off to the semi-finals. Gail.
Thanks very much. Well, Tracy, if I can start with you. Apart from a little wobble in the second quarter, were you pretty pleased with that performance today?
I knew this game was going to be tough. It was the decider on the semi-final, and you know, we've come off a flat day yesterday, obviously not playing So, yeah, I knew it was going to be a gritter. I knew our team, you know, there was a little bit of nerves out there, and you know this game meant something to them. But it's nice just to get everybody out there and take some of the load off some players and just give them a bit of a free flow. I think we smashed a lot of goals on the board, and that was important as well.
I know she's standing next to you. Maybe the only negative that you could find in that fabulous Jamaican performance was with your shooters. Are you a little bit happier today? Just close your ears for a second, Joe.
I actually think everyone got it wrong. I think I actually said how well they were shooting, and I like them playing the ball around.
That's not what you said to me afterwards, Tracy.
I like Joe respond to that one.
Did you feel comfortable out there? You had quite a few combinations, a bit of time at goal shoot, a bit of time at goal attack. Where do you feel most comfortable?
I feel most comfortable under the post, scoring goals, and it doesn't matter what position I'm playing. Obviously, at goal shoot, you have a lot more attempts and you put more ball up, but the way we play our England circle, anyone can be thrown at any moment and anyone can put the ball in the net.
I know as a group you're chasing perfection. And we know there's a big, big game to come, isn't there, tomorrow, and hopefully a few more big games in the next few days. With that in mind, where do you feel there are still areas for this side to improve?
I think just that clinicalness in attack, like, we do get a lot of ball from our defenders. You like Sajiva and Ebony, they're turning the ball over for us, and we just need to take care of that, take it down the court and really finish off for those guys.
And what are you two doing now? I mean, I'm sure you've got great things like ice bars to be doing, but will you, Tracy, hang around, watch South Africa, or be up all night prepping?
Obviously, we will be prepping. I think they're on at 7 o'clock tonight, so we've got a little bit of time before then, and yeah, got a big game tomorrow that we need to come out and obviously win.
And for you, Joe, are you glad you've had this one? Because rest days can work in slightly strange ways. I know Chelsea said, I don't want to rest, I just want to carry on with the momentum. How did you feel that affected you out there?
Yeah, I think we were a little bit stuttery at the start. We're a little bit flat in our warm-up, but I like the way we've approached this tournament. We haven't had an easy game so far. You know, we've really had to put 100% effort in for our round games and in this second pool as well. So bring on the rest of the tournament. We are ready to go for it, up another gear.
Yeah, how excited are you tomorrow? Because this place is noisy now. My goodness, it's going to absolutely rock tomorrow, isn't it?
Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. prime time. We cannot wait. We want the crowd behind us. We want the whole nation behind us. We're ready for it.
Oh, Tracy, are you excited, or are you just going to be nervous and edgy?
I think you take every game as it comes. Like I say, when you get your momentum and you play, you can't be on the high all the time. That game, it felt a little bit flat, but we come out and scored over 70 goals on the board, and they can't be at peak performance every day. And tomorrow, they've got to be able to step it up a gear.
Oh, go well. Have a little bit of a rest tonight. We'll see you tomorrow. Well played today, Joe.
Well, the players have been practicing their signatures, no doubt. They'll need to roll them out over the next few days as they head into those semi-finals. England then have qualified for the semis of their home World Cup. But what about Trinidad and Tobago? Gail?
When we spoke to you before, you said you wanted to keep them to 25. My maths is right, it's 26. So are you pleased or not?
Yeah, I will love with the 26, and we scored more than we expected to score.
And what were the big positives? I guess the second quarter, where you got to within 4 of England, didn't you?
Yeah, the second quarter was an excellent quarter on defense. I'm very pleased. One of the positives are the young players, the wing attack and the wing defense. I'm very pleased with that.
One more to go, well, tomorrow, isn't it, before the playoff bits? What do you want to see from your side? I guess you just want to go out with a couple of wins now, don't you, to make it all worthwhile?
Just go out and have a little nice dinner tonight, and come on, if you could play anything close to this tomorrow, we would be in good stead.
Unlucky today, Wesley. Go well for the next few days.
Thank you.